spy situations, and then Falcons shifted into a new gear. They took 8 rounds in a row, 12-4, a bit of a mini comeback from AMKAL, but ultimately it was a bridge too far. And yeah, I mean, ultimately everyone pulled their weight, it feels like, on the Falcons team, but we've already discussed, like, Pyjamas was having a blinder. Whether he can transfer that into Ancient, yet to be seen, but I'm hoping that AMKAL have taken that break, recouped, and they realize what's on the line. They have to get behind that motivation, because if they lose this map, they're eliminated.
The possibility of qualifying to a major is a life-changing prospect. It's what you live and die for in Counter-Strike. It's what you put thousands and thousands of hours of your life into, foregoing many other things. The opportunity to play on that stage, to get close to that trophy, to have your name eternalized in the game as a sticker. And it all rides on surviving this map. We're into it. Falcons on the T side. They mount a play towards the A site. Forrester fires off the warning shots, and NickelBack holds towards Donut.
All right, idea just slightly off on the timing. Although Forrester's bagged himself one, he will fall prey to Magis's Glock, and the post plant has already been put down. Those Julies, though, devastating damage. And in doing so, Snappi now does have the backstab, but he's missed his opportunity. And it's looking good for AMKAL to pick up this pistol round. They're going for the defuse, the full 10-second. There's nothing Snappi can do about it. Just has to sit there and hope he can get some exit frags.
Even if he picks up the kills at the end, it doesn't really matter. The opening pistol round was the big piece of the puzzle, and it's only a few $100 that's thrown away for those pistols, Vince. So you're not going to give a damn. Rough as well. I mean, Snappi, obviously the round itself was pretty mounted against you, but getting that flank off, if you could have got a bit closer, found the frag onto NickelBack, maybe there's an opportunity. Instead, the whiffs really let it sail on by. This was sick, though. Travis with the Julies. Love to see that. Okay, AMKAL have been good on pistols, Vince. We've seen this as a bit of a trend for them. Obviously, this is the bit that always gets a bit scary, though. Don't lose the anti-eco, because then your money is firmly in the bin.
And that's exactly what happened in the first map. Falcons were able to build off the back of that one and really punish AMKAL. And with that post plant, even if it did get fully diffused underneath Snappi, aka Galils and the MAC-10 have gone for far more firepower than any utility really to speak of. But this run and gun style from Snappi in particular could get them a bit of success early doors. And Pyjamas, in a similar position, you'd expect to see him use a couple of times when he has the AWP on his hands, was anticipating a jump peak. Didn't come through though.
No one-bullet handshakes to shut down the player towards the back of the B site there. Trying to fight for a bit of cave control is Snappi, selling the idea after showing presence on both ramp and cave that this will be a B play. In reality, though, the bomb is now starting to rotate back round towards A main. NickelBack is the sole defender, as even Forrester has taken the bait and wrapped off to support with a flashbang, allowing them to clear towards ramp on B.
NickelBack's just going to have to sit and wait for a little while longer. Or perhaps not. The bulk of Falcons now moving up mid, but with 23 seconds left, they've decided that A is the site they want to try and aggress onto. Mana's going to get pushed in. NickelBack takes him. Forrester at the back of Temple, though, is putting down the pain with the M4. There's another one. 10 seconds to play with the Majors caught between multiple angles. AMKAL have weathered the storm, and they do it pretty comfortably in the end. They only lose one player.
Ooh, nice technique as well. Fist bump either side. I've had some practice put into it. But this is big. It's exactly the start you'd want. You don't give up that anti-eco. You don't let your economy instantly get thrown to the wayside. You actually save a lot of the weapons as well. Only one casualty, so you're sitting pretty in terms of starting to build a bank early on. For Falcons, heavy investment into the upgraded pistols, spending money where possible, not dipping too below that 2K mark, with a couple of deagles, the first being in the hands of Madden, who's looking for a peek into the site already.
Having a look, but has been forced away from the Molotov. So Falcons falling back into a plan B, which seems to be getting to middle. Stuck behind a smoke for the time being. Cat control established from Crad, peeking out the side of the cave. That timing window is beginning to close, though, on the side of AMKAL for this aggression. They may feel compelled to stay in because they know they've just got up against pistols. And a well-placed flashbang forces the T's away again. They've done a pretty good job, though. It has to be said for Falcons. They've expended quite a bit of utility from the side of AMKAL. So this all needs to be replenished going into the next round. They're looking for that boost of Magisk on the Deeg, but the smoke is frustratingly still in his eyes.
When it starts to fade, it gives you a little window of opportunity. It's a real pixel peak. Oh, you'd have to hit a worldie from that boost. Near miss, but no success. The contact walk out towards A, at least works off the back of the trade. Pyjamas finds one with a Glock, striking down onto NickelBack. Two players rotating towards Red Room as well. And the T's have got a few off angles to work with here, Vince. It's a retake against a very low Falcons team, sure, but if they play some cheeky positions, they could still do a lot of damage and maybe find this one.
Still have that Deagle and 2 rifles in play. Half of that fuse is now ticked by, only a third or so remains. And although 2 players in Donut, they can go for a wide swing here. Crad going for the defuse. Oh, I think he's got the full defuse here. I don't think they can stop this one. Even a team kill thrown in the mix. It was unfortunate, it was uncomfortable, but considering that Falcons had basically Glocks coming in, they take an M4 out of it, take 2 kills and a post plant. That still is success as far as they're concerned, even though it's frustrating at the end.
Yeah, it just gets a little bit awkward in the way that it gets away from them. Obviously, the plant set up in a position where you could tuck in towards the right-hand side. Try as you might, jump spotting, you're not going to get the info you needed. And then as they peek into each other, it all goes a bit west. First 3 rounds for AMKAL, though. And this bodes well.
Oh, Snappi fully flashed, but still just forces his way out. No one was there. Oh, what an entry for Magisk as well. They weren't anticipating that Snappi could have been pushed out that far, but he actually had a bit of backup. And in doing so, mid-control, now established from the T's, at least for the short term. Donut may get aggressive. This is where AMKAL typically will have a knee-jerk reaction and go looking for blood, and they nearly find it too.
Oh, this round has already had so many rough encounters. The early burst out towards middle, the smoke shots, Pyjamas sleeping at the wheel with the ramp push. A lot of tiny details. Crad could be caught sleeping here, though. Nade in the hands, so Snappi finds the frag. Travis, you've really got to put the foot down. He's got backup, but if he peeks, Pyjamas should be ready for it. Again, though, he inflicts some damage. He's burning. He's trying to get out of the Molotovs that are spreading all over the place. Meanwhile, NickelBack chimes in with 2 massive frags and looks for a little bit more. The bomb's dropped on the ramps, and Pyjamas is scoped in, but he gets swung upon, and the round is being ripped away from Falcons.
Some Pyjamas from 0 to 0 from the last map to this one. Missing so many shots that could have put this round in an entirely different park altogether. Getting AMKAL off to the races with a 4-0 lead on their CT side. Not even a plant in that round either, Jackie. So, yeah, you've got round loss bonus coming up, but they're not quite hitting their shots. They're not nailing the game plan.
And it's bizarre as well when you think about the fact that for the CT side in that one, they were being zoned out so hard. They were saved by NickelBack having a monstrous round. 4 frags where he single-handedly retook the site and forced them all packing. Falcons had all the nades they needed. AMKAL didn't, but now that's changed. They've got a full nade set to play with going into this one, and you take that AWP from Pyjamas, give it straight to Icy. He needs to get activated early though, Vince. Yet to find a frag. If he can change that narrative and start hitting those big shots with the AWP, it might just be the difference they need.
That's a boost up in that smoke. I don't think Magisk realizes, but it's more designated towards the catwalk. This could prove to be more of a detriment than a blessing. This leaning tower of CTs. Head-to-head through the smoke, and there is the spray. BOROS knows it. He's playing patiently, but it's not going to be a virtue this time around. And Icy will nail Snappi with the AWP. Everything beginning to shape up nicely on the side of the CTs. AMKAL looking like a different outfit from that Vertigo performance. And although there's a casualty, it still reads 5-0 in favor of AMKAL.
These are the rounds you want to win clean as well. Don't get much cleaner than that, mate. Mop and bucket action on that one. Only 1 casualty? That's big. It's good for Icy as well. We hit the money right on the head. Even if it's against the ecos, even if it's against the low buy, it doesn't matter. If he's hitting those shots, that's when he starts to warm up, that's when he has confidence, and you need this man to have confidence, Vince.
Oh, absolutely. He's a confidence-based player. As many AWPs are, to be fair, and I think we're seeing Sunpius maybe go from tons of confidence to less so here. It's often the case, especially on T-side AWPing, where you just don't get that many opportunities. You know, your teammates are getting flashed and fragged, and you're just looking for exit kills, saving a bunch. Sunpius had a good 4 or 5 opportunities in that previous round, not the last, but the one before, and could not connect a single one of them. So we're seeing a completely different side of the spectrum. There is a buy-in, but it's a half buy. Does allow them a Galil and full Deagles with a MAC-10. We saw this have a lot of success on Vertigo, however, and Madden, oh, he tried so desperately to beat that Molotov, but double nades and Forrester behind him. But they have cracked open the site over on A, and they're spilling out to try and get a post plant.
They claimed it as Falcons territory. But NickelBack, he doesn't like this arrangement. He wants the clap back, spamming through the donut. Forrester pushing up, but he runs into the crosshair of the in-game leader for Falcons. The Galil strikes him down. They peek into him one by one, though, and he's finding opportunities to punish. They need to mount this retake cleanly. Flashed in by his teammate, peeks off the back of it, Snappi. He's single-handedly piecing this one together, Vince. He's put the team on his back in this round and is proving that it's not just about his brains, it's his brawn too. But the AWP claps back, time ticking. They jump on it, but they're forced off the bomb.
Forced by Magus, there's not enough time, even if Icy can clean up the rest of the straggling T's. AMKAL will concede and he will die with the bomb to add insult to injury. So Zonic was rallying the troops, you saw him clapping, you saw him getting hype at the start of this round after the timeout, and it has yielded. Smile back on the face of Snappi, understandably so. He's having a great individual performance, if nothing else, on top of the fact he's just called a round-winning strat. But what can they do with that, Jackie? It's one thing to get your foot in the door, can you push through? 5-1 is still a great scoreline for AMKAL, and they have a lot of money to utilize. They're going to have a comfortable buy here. So Falcons, they've got themselves in the game, but they've got to get consistency.
You got your foot in the door. Now you've got to kick it wide open. For Icy, surviving there is really important because he keeps the AWP, can drop an M4 to his teammate, and still have the scope to play with. One on either side now, though. Sunpius again gets an opportunity to wield the weapon. We saw it once previously, and it slipped away from him. Wasn't as impactful as what we saw on the first map.
NickelBack having a solid performance as well. Not typically one of the top fraggers for AMKAL. It is Crad that's going to break the deadlock, and Madden on the receiving end. 0-7, Jackie's had a rough one. He's typically the aggressive sort of entry frag type player. Not been working out that wide swing, working wonders though on the side of AMKAL, and Magus overstaying his welcome. Evicted with the M4A1S in the hands of Crad. And I was talking about consistency, and you were talking about kicking the door open. It looks like they've broken their foot on the door as it stands right now. It was locked the whole time.
NickelBack with the backup of Forrester. Looks like they should be able to walk all over them. Peek up towards lane. BOROS is instantly taken out, and Sunpius, his second opportunity with the AWP, his second outing, yields very little success. It's all about survival of the fittest now, and they're running at him from either side. They can peak with the same timing, so even if one of them falls, there should be a quick trade. A little bit delayed, but Forrester gets it. And that means the AWP is gone. Money's broken. You can see it reflected there with the cash for the T side. It's not ideal. That was a big investment, and it was incredibly fractured. Whereas the CTs are getting so much more audacious. Towards that B site, it's not just the utility set now. They're pushing down ramp. They're forcing them back. Falcons were isolated and fragmented. They couldn't play off one another. And the mid control from AMKAL, it's got a lot of ingenuity to it. They're going for this double boost tight towards donut with the smoke blocking it. They're just looking for info, and they're hitting their shots. It's kind of the battle of the in-game leaders right now as well.
And again, it's NickelBack that comes out ahead with 2. Snatching the life away from Magus and Sunpius in the first few moments of the round. And now Madden, and desperately looking and seeking for his first kill, is going to be denied again. No, he actually does get it just beforehand. A bit of an awkward spray from the MP9. And Now Snappi, oh, those are crispy headshots, keeping his team in this. You said the battle of the IGLs, well, Snappi is trying to do everything by himself. Now Puppet Master, smoked out of position, has to try and rush through that smoke if he wants to try and deny this one, but decides actually he's going to bypass it. IQ, in-game IQ off the charts. He's going to be snatching around for another frag, looking for Icy, running out of ammunition, but he forces him off the side again and can go back in for a rego. It's going to be a full defuse from Icy if he doesn't wide swing. Hence the re-peek from Icy. He knew what was coming up, but Snappi, that is such a solid effort. He needs someone to help him out, though.
Oh, man. We were saying Icy was a bit inconsistent. Now he's giving it his all. He really is fired up. And Snappi, the adrenaline must have been building. You're in a round where you're thinking, I've done this all off the skin of my own back. Again, it would have been twice in this game alone, in this map alone, that he put the team on his back and led by example, delivering for Zonic. But that time, the young gun of Icy, fighting for an opportunity to stay alive in the RMR and carve a path to his first ever major appearance. Well, he stands strong and denies it for now. And this is a whole different AMKAL. AMKAL leading the game right now and looking decisive of how they're playing. Snappi is the only one on Falcons that has anything to say.
Every now and again he has one of these performances. Typically it's on Nuke, strangely enough. Every time I've seen him pop off, it's on Nuke. 10 and 6. The rest of Falcons have 11 frags between the 4 of them, and Snappi is on 10. Magisk down through the smoke once again from Forrester, and Snappi waiting for that replenished magazine to come in so he can make the most of that timing of window of opportunity. Knows that NickelBack is here. He's going to wait. He wants to see if there's more players around. He wants to see if a rotation comes in and allow his teammates to move in firsthand. And he may be given that. Icy's now come in. Snappi, oh, he's seen both of them. Snappi, that is beautiful. Galaxy brain plays from Snappi, but they need to make the most of this.
The sheer genius of Snappi is giving them countless opportunities, but you have to close on them. And Forrester, he wants to piece together another round, upset the mastermind of Snappi and leave them with their heads in their hands. Time already ticking away though. 3 versus 3 on this one, close towards Temple. A man pushing through Donut and Travis flanking back to CT. Snappi again picks up an impact frag, but it's slipping away. It's all on Madden, and he's going to be furious if this round gets snatched. Travis is on the bomb, he's flanking up, but he needs to find the frag. Spams in the smoke, but he gets it, Vince! It doesn't matter that Snappi's trying to win this single-handedly. He needs a team effort.
I cannot fathom the emotions going through the head of Snappi right now. And Zonic stood behind them. He waited, he played this round perfectly. He's been playing so many of these rounds as well as he possibly could. And yet they still trail 8-1, Jackie. How do you justify this if you're Falcons?
The first time we saw Zonic clapping, trying to reinvigorate the team, reset them, it worked. But the only one that's heeded his call, answered the request from the most tenured coach to ever do it in Counter-Strike, has been Snappi. But you've got so many tools in your belt. BOROS, Pyjamas. Both of them played a stellar game on the first map, and they need to do it again now. An 8-4 half is still a possibility for Falcons, but you've got to get those rounds. They go back towards the A site, gravitating for a late contact play. They've got nades, and Pyjamas has the AWP. He can dry peek on the left side, stay scoped whilst his teammates go in. If they peek into him, he's ready for the first frag. Forrester's holding with the backup of NickelBack.
Is this where the fortunes do start to turn around? Molotovs, flashes, smokes all being deployed. And more importantly, entry frags, Magisk with 2, and BOROS following the call. If you can't get rallied behind an IGL that is popping off and making play after play, something has gone truly wrong. Travis, in the meanwhile, though, going to keep the dream alive of at least holding on to these 2 weapons. FAMAS and M4, but the round is done. Falcons will be doubling up their grand total, and if they can end the half with 4 rounds, it wouldn't be the end of the world.
Huge as well that these 3 players stay alive, keep their weapons in circulation. For Magisk, it's 2 frags. That might just be the wake-up call back into this T side.
Yeah, I think that pretty much tells you everything you need to know about the current standing in this game. Some nerves, anxiety, understandably so. They know that they are 1 map away from securing at least 1 more game going into that 2-2 bracket. The loser of this game, obviously, is done at 1-3. Tactical timeout, also called from AMKAL. They know the importance. You know, we've been focusing a lot on Falcons because of this very disorganized, disorientated team that's not firing on even close to all cylinders. But AMKAL have been doing a really good job of just choking these rounds out, getting those clutches, forcing the likes of Magisk and Madden on the back foot. And they've got to make sure that they don't put this huge advantage that they've really earned and worked for themselves and throw it away. An 8-4 scoreline at this stage would not be good enough considering the position that AMKAL were in. They want to make sure they come through with a 10-2 half, but it's not going to be a goodbye for this round.
Make the best of the bad situation. Prioritize the nades as well. A few players taking a step back in terms of the firepower of 5-7 and MP9, so at least you have the nade set you want. Some Pyjamas baited out on the ramp as well. Scoped in, but eats the nade. A chunk of damage removed from him. Snappi setting up to help on the split push through cave. The rest of the roster firing and finding a wallbang onto Icy.
And this round could effectively be a 2-for-1 as well, because AMKAL into that next round are not going to have a much better force into the last round of the half. So this carries even extra weight, it would feel. Pyjamas going to go in for that peek. Hasn't spotted any players, but if Travis goes for the wide swing on the cave, they need to make sure they don't trip over each other. So Norp's worst nightmare. Crosshair placement, perfect. Krad gets 2. And Pyjamas is going to get smoked out as well. He's not going to be able to re-engage on this one. Right idea, but just the wrong timing. And now Madden needs to get entries from ramp. There's 1. 2 players going to be lining up for him. The spray goes right down the middle. A 2-on-3 with 40 seconds, and Pyjamas and Magisk decide to pull the plug, but that's going to be into the arms of Krad and also Forrester. Both players exceptionally low, 15 HP between the 2 of them.
A gust of wind could take them both down. And Forrester nipping at their heels, chasing them with the SMG. Pyjamas on the off angle, repeaks, wanting to slice his way through him, but falls. All on Magisk with 5 HP, and the clutch won't happen. The MP9 pulls it off. Defuse comes through, a nail-biter of a round. And AMKAL build 1 step closer to the 10 rounds they are fighting for in this half.
And it was all about that cave push. Krad getting 2 unanswered kills. Pyjamas could do nothing about it. Snappi went in first, he died first. And at that point, AMKAL had every single piece of the puzzle available to them. You saw Madden's wallbang was good, but this was the play. Very well done by Krad. 9-3 the score. You can see what Pyjamas was going for, you know, you're both super low, you don't want to be playing reactive when you're on like 10 HP, 5 HP. You want to try and take the insta headshot, wide swing. Didn't quite work out for him. Can't fault the effort though.
Last round, your last opportunity. Is there any more of a buffer that you can build, Falcons? Or will AMKAL complete their hero's journey to 10? Madden, with confidence, change of pace. He's already creeping his way up into the bomb site. Icy gets revenge for what happened in the prior round, but Magisk has already found an opportunity to trade. Meanwhile, though, Forrester fires off some red-hot shots and bodies both Magisk and BOROS. He's still going.
Forrester's aim is on fire right now. Evaporating all the oncoming Ts. And Pyjamas is not going to fare any better. Icy had the perfect angle. 10-2. And the only positive player on the server for Falcons is Snappi, who is nearly top damage, even though his team just got wrecked.
There was almost, what, 3 rounds that Snappi single-handedly took for the team? Oh, it's a flip of the script. The way they looked on the first map to what we're seeing now. Hell, even Zonic, try as he might, to get them to perk up, to get them to rep themselves once again, Vince, it's not working in the same manner. Everyone's just staring at their monitors.
I mean, this from Forrester is just, it's exquisite. Really, those 3 kills, lightning on the headshots, and Snappi slumped into the back of his chair, head in hands. The thing is though, Jackie, you've got to keep believing. You win this pistol, you can bridge the gap to 10-5 at that point is possible, but they've been exploded outside. All 5 of AMKAL picking up the pace, and Sunpius can only muster up the strength for 1.
Too many targets to choose from. Target rich, but no money made for the CTs so far. Costly. As AMKAL, they've got an edge. They outnumber them, but NickelBack, the reaction to shoot, well, that comes through, but the adjustment to aim doesn't land. Magisk slices off the head, and we're down to a tight 2 versus 2. A pistol round that has so much stock to it.
If AMKAL take this 2v2, the map is pretty much a done deal, and we head to Mirage. Snappi caught, but not punished. In actual fact, it's, I think, a bit of team damage done to Travis in the back from Forrester as they just try and rush down this plant. Oh, Snappi! That headshot, insta to the face of Travis, putting Forrester into a 1-on-2. We know his aim is up to scratch, but Snappi again, the hero the Falcons need, the hero they desperately require. And he will secure this second pistol round and give them a lifeline to play with.
Snappi is living his movie, but look at the reaction. It's not elation, it's not celebration. You know that this game, you're barely limping through. Even when he's hitting worldies, clawing them in for a much-needed pistol round, he still knows they've got a mountain to climb. And he needs help. He needs a supporting cast.
That first shot for Snappi back on the site when he just flicks across, I think it was Travis, was so... I mean, it was like kind of on par with Forrester's triple that he picked up in the last round of the first half. So good. Magisk and BOROS both take a grenade to the head though, and that's nearly 60 damage inflicted between the two of them. But they're not going to be forced away. They're still going to force themselves into position, down on ramp and cave respectively. Trying to take a bit of control with these SMGs.
What's interesting as well is they would have got so much free info from that. Snappi's nade detonated too close to Madden that you would have heard the meaty chunk noise that now plays, even with or without armor. So Travis, he knows there's a player towards the right-hand side. Snappi wrapped back around to double up. NickelBack sees one. Travis still seems like he wants to clear this angle if they go running out, and it's the right decision to make, but it's a slow peek into the MP9. And Madden with 2. Well, that SMG is singing, Vince.
So fast on that second frag as well, and this is where the missing even one small component of utility can cost you so dearly. No pop flash, no kind of flash whatsoever around the corner beforehand. There we go. It finally comes in, but it's too little too late. The massacre has already happened. And so Cran and Forrester have to try and tag team each other through tandem and pull out some kind of damage in the next 20 seconds. I think they've already given up on the round. It's about whether they can get a couple of kills onto these Falcons players. And there's no reason for Falcons to push. They're happy with this stalemate. They're happy with the result of this one. It's going to be a 4th round, a chance to build up their money, a chance to build their way back into this. But of course, we're in that similar position, Jackie, that we discussed a few times. The Falcons know they're only one mistake. They're only one moment of sheer brilliance away from AMKAL, and they're pretty much hanging by a thread.
And for AMKAL, it's more a matter of when. You lose the pistol by the skin of your teeth. Going into this round, you have limited options. You don't have a great buy to work with. You can spend a bit of your money because you had the bomb plant. Do you wolf pack? Do you play a bit defensive? Once we get back towards the buys, that's where we'll see the real eye test. That's where we'll know how the second half is going to start to go. Early utility used to control middle from Falcons and hold back the push. Travis is trying to set the idea that once again there is some presence towards the B site. But they're going for a contact play out towards the A site. They've got one smoke to support this. And BOROS, will he be the butcher knife to cut his way through them?
Or will that blade be dulled down? The smoke, at least, is going to afford him a little bit more chance to sharpen those blades. And Sunpice, in the meanwhile, he wants to get some information outside of Temple. Forrester had no right to get that kill. Two players shooting at him. Just spins around on the turret, but BOROS is now showing, once again, that he's a threat to be contended with. He's been a very quiet player so far on this map. Better late than never, but Krad is making the adjustments. May have caught the timing, but Snappi seems to have a good read of the situation. And will lay him to rest.
Travis had B-side control, but the bomb was with the pack and it went down on the push. So there was no option to bail out, to wrap back towards B, even with all of the information gathered. They had to attempt to find a way in. Fight for the frags or fight for control of the bomb. Neither of them will garner success. 5 rounds of difference now. That's what we're looking at, but this is where the game starts to go live for real. This is where AMKAL actually have a buy to play with, and things get a whole lot more interesting. And Falcons maintain up against the actual investment from the T side.
Disappointment on the face there. Meanwhile, though, Molotov's down. And as Jackie perfectly highlighted, this is really where the game steps it up a notch or two. Because Falcons now know they're coming up against the AKs, the MAC-10s, the Tech-9s, but more of a full investment. It's not an ideal one, though, but Snappi double flashed out. Has heard the footsteps of NickelBack on the right-hand side. Comes in and gets the spray down. May not anticipate the second player, though, to be in the cubby. And it's a wild spray from Krad as he gets punished. The kills coming through thick and fast, and it's all the way to Falcons. This was the pressure cooker round. This was a chance to get themselves very close in terms of the deficit cutting down in half. And not only does it look like they're going to pass, but they're going to pass with flying colors.
Icy slain. And the big factor is still Snappi. It's still his confidence. It's still the way he's playing. He's taking those star player roles, Vince. He's running in, looking for scraps, looking for fights, dealing damage. Whereas that confidence, that Wolfpack mentality, playing off one another, bursting into the site, ready to trade, not scared to die, something we saw AMKAL do on their CT side, that's kind of disappeared.
Reminds me of one of Liam Neeson's best movies called The Grey. I don't know if you've seen it before, with the one with the wolves. And then he's like, F it, I'll do it myself. And that's how it feels for Snappi right now. It's like, listen, other players are waking up, but I'm feeling it right now. I have full confidence in my own ability. If I need someone to go and have a quick peek down ramp, why not myself when I know I'm going to hit the shots?
It's paying off massively. Head and shoulders above anyone else. 17 frags. The only player besting him at the minute is Forrester, but he's gone a little bit quiet into the second half. AMKAL can't help but feel like maybe they just need to go for a tempo play. Fight for K, fight for ramp, peek off of each other. The utility set looks good for that kind of shenanigan. And they go running up the ramp. Madden ready to defend, calls for the re-peek from Snappi as well, so they flank from either side and they spray their way through them. The only man that claps back is Icy. But one kill will amount to nothing as the round is Falcons.
Exactly. That amounts to absolutely nothing. AK still in possession on the side of Falcons. AWP still in play. Sunpice yet to really get out of the gates. Still having a slow game from the riches of 23, 24 kills in the first map to the rags of 6. But if he can start to find some form, oh boy, are AMKAL in trouble. They do have their own AWP in play now, though, in the hands of Icy and 4 AKs behind it. This mid-control has been a consistent factor. Tons of Molotovs down. And as Forrester getting singed to 80 HP, bypassing the cave, gonna go looking to middle, and he does get one, but it's traded out briskly. Second kill comes out for AMKAL though, and they have the advantage. Sunpies has seen the barrel of Icy's up around the corner, but he knows the second player went to red. Meanwhile, Snappi comes through again. 2 kills out of nowhere.
It's always Snappi. Snappi is the beast for Falcons right now, and he sets up BOROS to be the backstab to save it. A round that looked like AMKAL had finally once again found the confidence they need. But who else but Snappi, putting himself on 21 frags. Crad on the flank, he's about to be cut off. BOROS is waiting, a single tap's all he need, but he gets bested. Crad clutches it into a 1v1, and with a minute left, Vince, it's all on this.
How is BOROS not able to get that kill? Sunpies now has to do it all himself. The bomb was dropped down. Smoke has been put into position. The call may come through that this last player is low. Tech9 in hand. He's found it, but Crad takes his head anyway. The immortal Crad clutching, and AMKAL leap towards the finish line.
That is a disgusting round from Crad. BOROS unable to reply. In a situation where it felt like he was spotted and about to be smoked, he's the one that blows them away like a hurricane. And Snappi, how many times is he going to make these kind of plays wincing? Realizing again, he set them up for success and they couldn't finish it.
I mean, the pain he must be feeling right now, the frustration, the anxiety as NickelBack decides to just rush straight onto the site. And it's more of the same for Falcons. A 4v1, and Icy, his position known, at least flicks on to BOROS for the first, and is keeping the money pretty low as well in the time being, and using that smoke as a brief reprieve. This bomb has been dropped down onto the site though, as he has a quick check onto the CT side. There's no reason for Falcons to peek him until they hear that tickle of the bomb. They have Snappi and Donut, Sunpies, and Madden in CT spawn, and they know the importance of tying this round up as cleanly as possible at this stage. All the pressure is on Icy here, Jackie, and the way that Falcons are playing this, is going to be very difficult for him to get anything out of this round.
With how they're postured, how they're set up, the likelihood of success is incredibly slim. Stays pre-scoped though. He's heard the audio cue. Snappi jumping across is really baiting his attention. Time ticks away. It keeps him focused on Donuts that Madden can pull off the rotation out through Temple and stop it then and there. The bigger picture though is the game itself. You're looking at the fact that there's still 2 rounds. 2 rounds that they need to draw this to a 3rd map. Give themselves an opportunity to actually win it, to actually push past and knock Falcons out of the RMR. Right now, that is the potential that they face. If they lose this game of Ancient, they are done and out. No major, no more games at the RMR, no nothing, no stickers, no legacy for AMKAL at the first major for CS2.
And they've only picked up 1 T-side round in multiple. And the 1 round they won was from Crad just ascending to a different level. Back onto pistols. Falcons beginning, in fact, not beginning to believe. They've been believing for the last few rounds. As soon as they won that pistol, they converted to 10-5. They knew they were in with a real chance of bringing this comeback and making it a reality. At this stage, they have supreme confidence. You can see that their holds onto the A and B sides have been very well drilled, very well oiled. This is still a young roster. They haven't been together for too long, and we're seeing them evolve as time goes on.
Toying with the CTs in terms of the utility. They get the smokes out towards Red Room. Oh, the Tech9 though gets an entry, and Icy finds another one. The pistols are starting to sing. Vince, is this how they get their 12th off the back of a big flank from Crad?
Oh, he's waiting. He's lining up the perfect shot. Sunpies not sure where he's getting shot from right now and gets swept in. A perfectly timed flashbang and a Tech9 insta-headshot round the corner will mean that Falcons may taste defeat yet, even with a valiant attempt of a comeback. It's 4 map points for AMKAL.
The pressure. Everything riding on this now then. We really are at a position where they have one round of buffer. One mistake, one misplay. And we go to a third map. A level playing field.
And Mirage is a map as well, Jackie. We've seen NickelBack and Crad and Forrester play many a time over the last few years, and they are very competent. I don't know as much about IC's gameplay on Mirage, but judging by his style, I think it's going to suit him very well. And it's that insta-headshot onto Madden. Couldn't do anything about that, was fully flashed. Crad with a perfect timing flank, and Sunpius just was pivoting around 360, praying and hoping for the best. And his prayers were not answered. So as you highlighted, it is pretty much do or die here for Falcons. Lack of utility. Aggression from Sunpius. Missing the shot though. And IC doesn't bite down. He doesn't go for that flick shot. Well-placed flashbang, but Forrester's already moved in, and the counter flashes are on point. HE's now in the rush as well. Sunpius is a dead man.
He was trapped. 2 opportunities to hit the shot, both of them fail. And they play together. The Wolf Pack overwhelms as they cut their way through him and claw their way close to a 13th round, to an opportunity to fight on the third map and keep themselves in it. Falcons, with their backs up, have to defend. Snappi has been the king in this game for Falcons. He has been the one ruling with an iron fist at the bottom of ramp. He's got to deny them. Finds the flick onto the first. Swings the scepter as he lines them up and takes down 2. He's fighting for the strength of Falcons.
And he's winning that fight. Time and time again. Snappi goes down finally to the hands of Travis. And now he has to watch on. Agonizingly close to clutching this round. To keeping themselves in with a shot, but Travis is going to neutralize Madden. And now may just cast the clutch to 1v2. What else can Snappi do? 26 kills. And they still lose the map.
Ripped away from them. A quick 2-0 is not what is happening here today. The bookend of the series, the third and final map is where